welcome back to River Talk, and welcome to the segment where we dissect quantitative easing. Okay, no, it's not that cerebral. It's River Talk after all.
And you can bank on that.
Absolutely. You sit there for the entire interview.
Yes, sir.
Or there will be a penalty for early withdrawal.
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, Will Britton, good to see you, sir.
Hey, how are you doing?
How's things going?
Pleasure,
it's
brother.
going well. It's an exciting time to be in banking, that's for sure.
Okay. Well, you've given me some ammo.
Hey, there you go.
You're with Anderson Brothers Bank, and they're a big part of why we're on the air. We expanded to an hour. We love the relationship. We got to meet a lot of employees. So we like to dig a little deeper instead of talking about all the things that Anderson Brothers offers to consumers. And we try to get to know the people because at the end of the day, that's really what you guys are promoting is the people aspect of your business.
Absolutely. We are a community bank. We're extremely involved in the community. We're a part of a lot of community events. I know you guys had the fellow from the Dragon Boat race earlier. I'm a part of that. So we have a team.
Oh, you got a team
So if
there.
you guys want to row, we actually are taking
you're looking for
applications.
Oh, so you're looking at rowers?
Yeah, we have tryouts as well.
I can't do that because my wife has a team, and I have I've steered clear. Look at there, I threw one in there.
But
But
well, look here, if we can use a trolling motor, he and I will think about it.
If you're not willing to row now, we do take donations. So, we'll pass
look at
around
there.
the hat.
Yeah.
I'll
to our
donate
league.
my daughter.
On the donation side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're involved with the Ground Zero event. We have a bunch of other stuff that we're involved with, Community Way, things like that. We do a lot of the high school football games. We attend a lot of them. We do a lot of loans for the community. We have a broad spectrum of lending that we do. So borrowers with 550 credit scores and up. So not only for borrowers with credit scores there, but your big time lenders as well. So we can play everybody.
Well, let's go back in time. Let's get to know the Will Britton story.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm actually from Jordanville. I don't know if you're familiar with Jordanville.
That's out the western part of Horry County.
Yeah, I live off of PD Highway. I have a twin brother. I attended Ainer High School, went to Coastal Carolina
Were
University.
y'all in the same grade?
Oh, same age, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
I bet that was fun, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it
Twin
is.
brother.
Just testing it.
Yeah.
And you know
I know
what's-
you were. Does he look like it? How old is he?
Because
He's
twin
your
brothers
twin?
could be in different grades.
Yeah, but what would you call those kind of twins? They're like, they wouldn't be right. Now, they have some other name for twins that don't.
Fraternal.
But yeah, that don't really look alike. Yeah, is that it? What's the name
Yeah,
of it again?
fraternal. We are identical.
You are
And
identical, yeah.
Believe it or not, out of twins, one is always the tallest, and you can guess I'm the tallest.
I wouldn't have guessed
Who's
that.
the oldest?
But
Yeah, my twin brother John's the oldest.
About what, a minute? 2
7
minutes? 7 minutes?
7
Lucky number
minutes.
seven.
Oh, my
Wow, bless your
gosh.
mama's heart.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we were real small, so yeah, 4 pounds.
There's another one here.
Still, bless your mama's heart.
That's
yeah,
right.
like pregnant women everywhere, like going, so
Yeah.
twice in one day.
Yeah, and then she had to raise us and put up with us. To begin
Oh
with,
my
so.
goodness!
Man,
Yeah.
I'm telling you what.
So
What's the
we-
only difference between you guys? I mean,
Well, I'm taller,
Okay.
better looking.
Right.
I work at Anderson Brothers, which is better.
Okay.
You name it. Thinner.
What I mean, my brother and I, he was younger than me by a few years. We had that rivalry going on. That had to be like really intensified.
Oh, we have. We still, go through sibling rivalry. We did in high school. We did in football. He had the edge on me a little bit in high school. I'll give him that. But now, as we've, matured, the tables has kind of turned. So, but.
Did you guys like play basketball? Go out?
We played football.
Okay.
Coach Generette was our coach when we were
Okay,
there.
all
Graduated in 2008. Have a lot of friends that we still carry on relationships from that team. We are also in the same field as well. He is an ag lender for Arbor One.
Okay.
So we kind of compete there. We don't really have a huge appetite for his style, but we are in the same field.
Well, how did you boys get into banking? I mean, where did that come from?
Well, initially when we went to college, we started at Newberry College. He kind of wanted to do more of a engineering role, and I've always wanted to be in banking. We toured a bank when I was younger, and going in and looking at the vault and all that kind of stuff, and seeing the man with his tie on. Daddy always said, I grew up on a farm. You want to wear a tie for a living, and of course I show up without a tie. So that's kind of where the initial thought happened.
Well, that works. That works. Yeah.
Yeah.
His brother can engineer a way to break into the
Yeah.
bank.
Well,
He's
he-
already in there. This is a cool deal.
Yeah.
That's a movie there.
And he saw my track that I was going on and decided to copy it.
Oh, yeah.
So then we did.
Oh
the same
wow!
thing.
How
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah, so that's actually how it happened. He really wanted to go into engineering, and then we ended up coming back to Coastal, graduating. He has accounting, and I have finance, which naturally finance is a little bit more in depth than accounting.
Sure.
I always kind of throw that out to him. It's not, but you know.
Hey, did you
Wow.
ever fool the chicks? You know what I mean? Like,
Oh
say, he'd go
really?
pick
Oh,
up
that's
some
where
girl-
we're headed now.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
You line up a date. Say it might be a girl you wanted to go out with, but your brother, and you say, "Look, I'll just be you tonight. Come on, pal. Let's work a deal."
We got tied down early, both at 15 and 16. So we married our high school sweethearts.
Oh, you
both of
did,
us
didn't you? Oh, you blew it, man.
Yeah.
You had all
got
those
married
years.
at 22. So I've been married for going on 8 years.
Well, that's a good thing.
But what I was going to say is we didn't really confuse a lot of people in high school. Everybody knew us. They were able to tell us apart. We didn't start confusing people until college, and I had his teacher come up to me trying to, ask me if I did my homework. So I've had instances like that, and believe it or not, customer situations, kind of follow along too. I'll have a customer come in and they'll say, "Will, I saw you and your wife at Walmart the other day, and you didn't speak to me." And he does it on purpose. He does it intentionally to try and make me look bad. But
So there's never a sick day either at the bank because your brother could come in and fill in
he
for
could
you.
fill in for me,
Right.
absolutely. And then when they give him the keys, I may not have a job when I come back.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Yeah. I had a strange thing dealing with twins. I was in Kansas City, Missouri. True story. And I'm in this hotel lobby, and I'm walking, and I see this guy going up the escalator. It was a nice hotel, what it really was, for a convention I was at. And so I go scurrying up there and run up to this guy, and I was like going, "Hey, man, long time no see. How you been?" He's looking at me like, I said, "How's the wife?" And he's like going, "Who are you?"
that's
and I'm
him.
like going, "Dude, I know you know me." Dude. He had an identical brother.
And he should have known that. He should have been more receptive.
Right,
to that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
You'd
didn't
think
pick up
that,
on
yeah.
it. And I didn't know. I didn't know that this guy that was a friend of mine here, and it was the weirdest thing in the world. And he's like going, in Kansas City, Missouri, I
Yeah.
find a guy's twin. And he's like going, "I have a brother that lives in South Carolina." I said, "That's where I'm from."
Yeah,
It
there you
was
go.
weird.
Yeah, well, maybe that's why I didn't expect it, though.
Yeah.
I will tell you a funny story, though. I am into hunting and fishing. So we live off of a farm in Jordanville, and my wife got us confused for the first time since we've been married. I think it's a year ago, and she likes to hunt as well. So
Your wife likes to hunt?
yeah, she likes to hunt, and it was when time changed back, so
Hey,
it
you
gets
boys
dark
out there in
early.
the country pull that off.
Telling you
Yeah,
what.
that's great.
Well, that's why we got married early.
Yeah.
Found the one that I wanted, and
So she was mad at him and shot at his brother.
yeah, it was nearly. She was mad. I was coming home from work, and naturally it gets dark early, and it was raining. And I asked my brother, I said, "Listen, do you mind going to get her from the tree stand?" She was scared to get out of it when it was dark and it was raining. So he went and picked her up, and he had his rain jacket on and the hood on. So she didn't know it was him. So she just giving him the cold shoulder, being snappy with him. She was mad at me.
Wow.
And when they get in
Trying
the
to
truck and the
rethinking
truck
that female
lights come
hunting buddy
on,
now.
yeah, when them lights come on, oh boy, she felt so embarrassed. I mean, it was
That's
good.
funny.
Yeah, I can't believe she actually admitted it to me though.
And I would have played along too if I was your brother.
Yeah.
I'd have milked that for everything.
Oh,
In
yeah,
fact, I'd have
man.
probably threw some comments in there.
he
that,
didn't
had
know.
you sleeping on the couch for
Yeah, I really
weeks.
say, I really had you screwed up.
Yeah. He had no idea. He didn't know. He was just thinking that she was, just had that mood that day. So
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, growing up in a farming community, and I did, and I worked in farming, I get that. I toured a radio station. Of course, I knew I was headed in that direction, but it was air conditioned, and the guy was all dressed up. Radio announcers now,
forget it.
But this guy had it going on, had
Yeah.
a nice car, and I went, boy, that sure looks a lot better than cropping tobacco.
Yeah. And
Nothing
you'll
wrong
see
with
a lot of
cropping
it now.
tobacco. My goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got bought out with the tobacco buyout, I believe, in 2002. So thankfully, I didn't have to do all the suckering and all that kind of stuff. We kind of were the barn hands. We had the easy stuff, picking
Yeah.
up leaves. But then we got into cows. We had about 60 head of Black Angus throughout high school, and putting down fence posts and putting down wire is not fun either.
Good
It's terrible.
night. Wow. That is some hard work.
Yeah.
I've dug one hole. It's too much for me. That's great.
But
Well,
Will, where's your tie?
Well,
Your daddy said to get a job wearing a tie. You don't even have a tie on.
I didn't want to get choked up when I came on the show, so I left it back at the office.
Yeah.
I ain't seen the show. We're carefree. We're laid back.
Yeah, we are laid back.
But you can obviously relate coming from that agricultural background. And I mean, you can identify with the guy, the average consumer.
Right, and that's really the key to it is we want to be a person that anybody in the community, whether you're, the biggest customer in the bank to the smallest, you can feel comfortable approaching us. And it's something that Anderson Brothers has built in the culture because you can see it in our CEO, you can see it in our executives. If I want to call our Horry County executive, Brian Lennertz, or our city executive, Richard Carroll, I can call them up, and I'm telling you, they pull us along. So, they teach us, they're easy to talk with. I love being at Anderson Brothers. I really do. I couldn't think of any other place I'd rather be.
Well, the intimidation factor is nil and void, and that's good. Now a lot of people will know you when they go in the bank. Hey, Will, I saw you on TV. Why'd you do that? Yeah. Will, you've got a reputation.
Well, in banking around here, yeah, that's one of the oldest names. I'm sure your family was familiar with Anderson Brothers going way, way back.
Right, absolutely. It was started in Mullins. Believe it or not, you hear some people, well, we made it through the Great Recession. Well, we made it through the Great Recession, and we started in the Great Depression. And that was, right out of it. We started out of a tobacco warehouse in Mullins. The Andersons owned a tobacco warehouse, and when the Depression hit and a lot of the banks quit loaning monies to the farmer and to the community, they step in and started loaning to put tobacco in the fields.
That's crazy.
So that's how it was started, and we still kind of have a reputation for that today. Like I said, it is a great place to work for.
You think about like an impact. You think Mullins, but what happened in Mullins and Marion and in Horry County on this side of the waterway? You think about the impact that had on the beach and what we have now. If it weren't for banks stepping up into 30s and 40s and 50s,
right,
financing these farmers because they had a lot of land. I mean, that's where the beach comes from.
Yeah, if you don't have
totally different here.
Yeah, if you don't have the money to buy your seeds and to buy your chemicals and whatnot, everything seems to be grown organically. But I can promise you, people use those chemicals, and they cost a lot of money.
Yeah, they do.
So somebody has to pay for it before the farmer can actually reap those benefits whenever they take their tobacco to the sale and things like that. So we started in Mullins, and now we've crossed the the Little Petey River and the Big Petey River into Horry County, and we're thriving in Horry County. We just opened 2 new branches. One was recently, about 3 years ago, at Market Common, and we have another one at 44th Avenue at Grissom Parkway. And they're awesome banks.
They're beautiful.
I like to crack on this, though. Have you noticed that the styles almost look like the 70s? That's that new contemporary style.
It really is. It's cool.
Yeah. So, my philosophy is we could have just bought a bank out of the 70s and just had it there.
Right. You ride by, but it's neat because you see what's going. You see the inside of the bank when you ride by. It's cool at both of those locations.
It's exceptional. It gives you that customer-friendly atmosphere where you come in to where you don't feel intimidated. And that's the idea behind it. We don't want to intimidate our customers. When you have somebody that you're lending money to, they need to be able to call you, and you need to be able to feel comfortable calling them. So that's a big player.
It's a good thing you got into banking business, especially with that particular bank. Farming, maybe. What do? Yeah, you dig a hole. You put the little seed in the hole.
You heard that on the news lately, didn't you?
Yeah, I heard about that too. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. But he didn't talk about, what you got to do to get the dirt ready to put in,
exactly.
to put the seed in the hole, or to get it out of the ground, or if it
insane.
rains too much, if you've got to go out in the night and strip the backer off of the strip the leaves off because the ground's too wet and it's going to ruin it. They don't mention that kind of stuff.
That's just what you're talking about, like when you ride by the banks, and especially the one at Market Common, because I go by there. The Christmas tree in there, it brought back so many memories of like you said, the 70s and that big Christmas tree that was right there, and it reminded me of going to the banks in those days and getting out that Christmas club money.
Right.
I knew if we were going to go to the bank, it does bring back those
a lot of
memories
banks don't even have Christmas clubs anymore, and believe it or not, I actually do one. I do things a little bit more old school. Now listen, hey, online platforms, we're going to compete with anybody out there, and I use them, mobile apps and all that stuff, but I still like to write checks. Most of my bills I will pay with a check. It's just the way I saw my dad break out that ledger and my great-grandfather break out that ledger, and they write it in that ledger, and that's what I do. That's just how I comprehend it.
No, I still write checks.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
It gives me 2 or 3 extra days.
But
It does.
Well, it does.
It does. It's cash flow.
Yeah.
I hate to get off on
me.
it, but we do have a Christmas club, and I utilize it. I'm telling you.
That's great.
Yeah.
You still
Yeah.
have one.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. You forget about the money going in there. I mean, $25 every paycheck. It adds up.
Well,
It
that's a
doesn't cover
present.
everything,
That's a
but-
present to yourself when it's time to buy gifts and stuff.
that's exactly right.
Pull the Santa. But yeah, I remember the Christmas. My mother, she was an avid believer in the Christmas club. I mean, we wouldn't have had a Christmas without that.
A lot of the old stuff we grew up on and kind of took for granted, moved to town and forgot about, is all the stuff. I mean, man,
Anderson Brothers
these
is
guys are
doing
doing apps like delivering groceries. Man, we had grocery stores. We delivered groceries. We didn't think anything of it. Now that's supposedly like a cool thing.
Yeah.
That's a big bonus, man.
Oh, so banking though has changed. You got to compete out there. You got your CDs and savings accounts, and you guys really compete out there with great products for everybody.
Yeah, we believe it or not, we offer a lot more than just CDs and savings account. We have an investment advisor. His name's Tim Steyer. He's located at the Market Commons location. Guy is phenomenal. He participates in our Dragon Boat Festival. We have a vendor tent out there, so he'll be out there this year. It's April 25th, so anybody that goes around, he'll actually be out there, participating in the event. So he's an awesome guy. We do a lot of other programs. We've recently started one with ICS, which allows us to go above the threshold of the FDIC limits. So you're guaranteed for $250,000. So anything over that, we have the ability to do that now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff that you don't know that's out there. And then beyond that, lending, we're going to be able to help the consumers that are going to have those lower credit scores, auto loans, consumer loans, all the way up to the big guys. So I predominantly do commercial real estate and consumer construction loans. I'd say that's what my specialization is. But I can always go in and do auto loans and things like that. But that's our niche. Is we started in Mullins, and I'm sure you can see that Mullins. I mean, who starts in Mullins? Who even knows what Mullins is?
Yeah.
And now I would say that we're a big player in Horry County. So we started in Mullins, and we're going to service those. We're going to service those customers and customers of that whole variety. So we paint with a big brush.
I was at a recent little conference with SCORE, and got to meet a lot of folks that are venturing out there, springing out on their own. The economy, I mean, this is a great time for people to launch their own businesses. Good business products out there. Can you go in there and get a loan, get set up, and lines of credit when you open your accounts?
Oh yeah, absolutely. One thing that I've noticed, and I came from a larger bank, but a lot of times what will happen is they'll come in and they'll say, listen, I'm starting a business, and they'll say, okay, well, we don't do startups. Or, you don't have 2 years tax returns, you've only got one because you've only been in business for a year. Or it may be something that's just a technicality that person behind that desk doesn't ask enough questions to know that there actually is something there to help that customer. And again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that every deal that comes in the bank that you're going to be approved. If we advertise at a 550 credit score, that doesn't mean that every single 550 credit score gets approved.
Right.
Naturally, we say that as that may be the limit, but we're actually going to look at your history. So what that report has on it. But again, it's about asking those questions and seeing what's out there. And if we can't reach a deal, then maybe we can say, okay, well, this is where we need to be, and this is what we can do to get you there.
Well, it's about being fair.
Yeah, fair, honest, and being direct. I mean, when you go in, you don't want to get somebody that kind of says, well, I'll get back to you on it. You want a direct answer.
Right.
Can you do it or can you not? And if you can't, why? That's incredibly important. And there's regulations out there that says, you got to tell somebody why. But giving them a piece of paper that, you're supposed to give them may not be the answer to the question.
Will, good talking to you, my friend. Pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. But
Say
get a
hello
tie,
to
get
your
your
brother.
tie on now.
I will. I'll put it on as soon as I get back.
Yeah. Good seeing you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, stay right there a second because I want to talk to you about something else.
Jack needs a loan.
Oh, there we go.
We get underpaid here.
Oh, how am I going to pay it back? Shh. You're ruining
You
it.
talked about CDs earlier, so if you've got a CD out there, I'll secure it.
Don't ask
Okay.
about his credit either, will you?
Yeah, please don't. Hey, we'll be right back with more. Get 'em on.